Alright.
Let's do it.
Hi! We have a little song we want to show you. It's the Plan of Salvation song, I think. Okay. Here, believe, repent, confess, be baptized. Here, believe, repent, confess, be baptized. Here, believe, repent, confess, be baptized. And live faithfully.
Nothing but a lot of
We'll do that.
That's a mouth.
What do you tell them? Have a good day.
Bye.
Happy
Sunday. Bye.
Do you know all the hello songs? No.
The hello song?
No. Nothing but a lot of diesel. So, Noah on the dry, who's a boat, and people
Let's do this song.
And people drown and drown and drown.
It's this. Here is Noah, and here is the boat. Down came the rain, and the boat did float. And the people cried and cried and cried.
The people
Drowned and drowned and drowned. But out walked Noah.
Out walked Noah on dry ground. It's a repeat after me song.
Alright, tell them bye. We'll do it next week. Say bye. Yeah, roll the chariot. That's right. Roll on out of the room. Bye. Go on.
Bye.
Alright. Those are some songs that they have learned at VBS. If you go to church with us, you know that because they were all excited and ready to tell everybody what they learned Wednesday night about what they had learned that week at Burleson's VBS. So they are dying to do a couple of them on singing night. So for you that join us on Wednesday, you will get to join in on some of that fun with us. Today we're going to talk about the trusting woman. We've talked about Lady Wisdom, we've talked about Lady Folly, and we know that we should be Lady Wisdom. So now we're going to talk about the trusting woman. And the whole point of this devotional is, who do you trust? And if you don't have a person you trust, what do you trust? And that will make sense the more we go through this. We all know things are not always what they seem. So how do we know who, or how do we know what to trust? We have all been told, well, I've been told all my life, I'm sure everybody else has been, nothing is what it seems, right? Something might look good, a job might look like the perfect job, the money's good, they, are giving you all these vacation days and time off, they're willing to work with you, they're very accommodating, they'll pay moving costs, they'll do this, and you're promised this certain position in the company, and you get there, and once you start, about a week later, well, hey, I wasn't told about this part that I'd have to be doing. I wasn't told I was going to have to travel as part of this job. I wasn't told that I wouldn't have an 8-hour workday. I was going to have a 12, 14-hour workday. I wasn't told that it might possibly have to work on weekends. You all get my point. Very simple. The job is the best thing I can relate it to. But sometimes things are not always what they seem. And I kind of laughed at this because when I was doing my devotional, I had actually had to send my kids in another part of the house so I could actually sit down and think about it. And Matt had them, and that's exactly what came to my mind. Everybody says, oh, kids are the greatest thing. It's the best part of your life. You're going to love it. What they fail to tell you, the sleepless nights, the attitudes, the challenges that you face every day as a parent. Yes, you love your children. There's nothing else like them, but it's not always what it seems. It's not always roses. It's not always what I'm thinking of, cupcakes and roses. It's not always pretty. It's not as easy as everybody seems, especially if you have more than one. It's not always easy to roll out of bed. Prime example for those of you all that went to church with us this morning. You saw me coming on 2 wheels. Luckily, Matt had a meeting this morning, and he was already there. My kids did not wake up till 9:15. For you all that knows, we started at 9:30. We pulled in the parking lot at 9:28. So I got one kid to Bible class on time and one kid not on time. It's not always as easy as it seems. So that is where this is going. So we got to keep in mind that things are not always what they seem, but we do have one thing we should always trust, and that's the Bible. So think of ourselves, we're women, we're supposed to be trusting women. So the first thing I'm talking about is, should we trust with our heart only? The world says, follow your heart and everything else is secondary. Follow your heart and you'll rarely get lost. Make your mistakes, take your chances, be imperfect. Trust yourself and always follow your heart. Always. Don't think about anything else. Just follow your heart. Now, I'll be honest. When I was doing this devotional, I kind of struggled with this because I am going to make mistakes. You do take chances. I mean, you do. Every day you take a chance. You just do. There's going to be times in life where you have to take a chance. I am imperfect. But this is the part that got me. This is the part that really made the light bulb go off in my head. Trust yourself and follow your heart. That's where the world gets you. Trust what you think. Not what the Bible says, not what we're told to do, not what is black and white, but trust what you want. Basically, trust what you want to hear. Interpret things the way you want to interpret, and that's not what we're supposed to be. This is what God says. Proverbs 28:26. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool. Proverbs 3 verse 5. Lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 14:16. The fool puts confidence in himself. Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things. Just following our heart leads to failure and can lead to disaster. So we don't want to follow our heart. Not solely our heart. We cannot just go by what we think, what we want, what we do, what makes us feel good at the time. We cannot trust our heart solely. Our physical heart, we cannot do it. Because we belong to God, He desires complete loyalty and confidence. If I cannot be completely loyal to God and be... I lost my train of thought. Sorry. We're supposed to be loyal to God, and if I cannot be that way, that is when we fall back to following our own desires and our own wants. God wants our trust in Him, not in things on this earth. And it's so hard. It's so hard to fall in that trap of wanting the things. The things look good, right? It entices us. It looks good. It's what we think we want. But is it what God wants for us? Second thing, heroes. Do we trust our heroes? And my mind immediately went to, because I have a little boy, superheroes. Batman, Superman, He-Man, you name it. The heroes. That's not what this is talking about. And when I read it, it's like another light bulb went off, like, hey, that makes sense. We all have heroes in our life. We do. And again, my mind went to Superman, Batman. I'm like, I don't have those. But when I studied this a little more, do we have somebody we admire? Do we have somebody that we want to be like and will go to any length to dress like them, live by them, match their competition? Meaning if they buy a boat, we got to buy a boat. If they buy a new car, it's time for us to buy a new car. If they never repeat an outfit, we can never repeat an outfit. If they've got 5 kids, we got to have 6. Some of that sounds crazy, but there's people out there like that. There is. Those are our heroes. We have to realize that if we put all of our trust into our hero, our idol, the person we admire, the one we just are dying to be like, we're going to be led astray. Why? They're human. They're going to fall. Their life may seem peachy, but you don't live with them 24/7. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. Yes, they might have the best car. They might have the best house in the whole neighborhood. But if you don't know them personally, what if they're drowning in debt? Let's just be honest. What if they are about ready to lose their house because they cannot make payments? What if they're working 3, 4, 5 jobs because they're trying to live up to this? But yet we don't see that. We just see, man, look at their house. I want their house. I want to be just like them. Those are our heroes. If we put all of our trust in them, we're going to fail. We're going to be led astray. We're going to be heartbroken. It's not going to be what we want. So we don't want to trust in our heroes. Now, along those same lines, do we put all of our trust in our riches? Wealth deceives. Wealth deceives. Looks good, feels good, makes you feel good when you have it, when you see it, but it's deceiving. It's deceiving. Do we get caught up in we have to look a certain way? We can only wear one brand of clothes. We can only have designer shoes. What about our kids? We have to have the best toys in the neighborhood. We've got to have like I said, the biggest house, the biggest playroom, the playground, whatever. What about, let's bring it home, a little bit closer to home, in a church perspective, the best building. And what I mean by the best building, not only the biggest, we have to have the most standoutish decorations. We've got to have everything look fancy, look perfect. What about the fanciest classrooms? What about we have to make sure our bulletin boards are decked out? We got to make sure every inch of our walls are covered with something. We've got to make sure that we have the best of the best. Now, am I saying classroom decorations are wrong? Absolutely not. As a person who decorates classroom, you want something. Now, I don't go all out. I'm not an all-out person. That's just not who I am. Some people are. They're good at it. They make it look good. That's great. But is that their focus? We all know the focus of the classroom is to teach our kids the Bible. Again, not saying decorations are bad. Not saying a big church building is bad. But if that is our focus, our riches, something's wrong. The world says money equals freedom. The world also says the boy with the cold hard cash is always Mr. Right. The world says if money isn't buying you happiness, then you're spending it wrong. God says, Proverbs 11:28, he who trusts in his riches shall be overthrown. Proverbs 28:22, a man with an evil eye hastens after riches. Proverbs 16:20, whoever trusts in the Lord, happy is he. Not whoever trusts in his riches, not whoever trusts in his heroes, not whoever trusts his heart or follows his heart. The one who trusts in the Lord is happy. We should trust the Lord. Proverbs 3:5. 3:5 is trust in the Lord with all of our heart. Okay? How do we do that? God sees our difficulties. We all have difficulties. We do. We all have difficult days. We all have terrible days. We all have bad days. We all have days, and I want to say, I kind of laughed when I was doing this. There's days I want to run away. I'll be flat out honest with you. If I could just leave this door, leave this house for maybe an hour, 30 minutes, sometimes I even take 5 minutes just to be by myself, get away from everybody. No telephone, no TV, no kids, no husband, no nothing. Just get away. We have days like that, right? We have the days where we're about ready to lose our mind. We just want to flee. But we have to remember God sees that. God knows that. And what does he say he will do about it? In Psalms 27:13, he will strengthen our hearts so we can deal with those difficult days. We can get through that trying moment. But there's a stipulation. There's always a but. We have to trust him. If we don't trust that he's going to take care of us, then he's not going to take care of us. We have to trust him. God knows our motives. He knows we have difficulties. He knows our motives. We all know the parable of the widow who gave all she had. It wasn't much, but it meant the world to God. God knows our motives. God knows. Are we going to be that honest Christian worker at our job? Are we going to be that honest Christian in the church house? Are we going to be that truthful Bible teacher teaching Bible class? Are we going to be that truthful boss or truthful wife? He knows our motives. And our motives will get us. If we have bad motives, it's not going to end well. It's not. What else does God? We know we have to trust him. He says he will strengthen us on our most difficult days. He also promises to defend us. So he knows our motives. And as long as our motives are pure and as long as our motives are good, he is going to defend us. Proverbs 30 verse 5 says he is a shield to those who put their trust in him. He is a shield. He's a shield. This thanks to the story of Hannah. Just like the motive. The poor widow with her 2 mites that she put in, that's all she had. All she had. And God knew that. She was willing to give all she had for God. Just putting it all in his hands. He's going to take care of her. And he did. About trusting them. If we put our complete trust, what did Hannah do? What did Hannah do? She put her trust in God and he was there for her. Let's go back to the beginning. She was in the temple. She couldn't have a kid. Couldn't get pregnant. She wanted a boy. Couldn't even have a girl. Couldn't have a kid. She didn't have a boy. She was upset. And what happens? Eli sees her. Eli accuses her of being drunk, and she was almost thrown out of the tabernacle. But what happened? God ended up hearing her. God answered her prayer. He gave her a son. It proves God is there for us. Now, did it happen that night? Did it happen the next day? No. He heard us. Heard her. He hears us. He will defend us. Only if we are doing right. You may have noticed all the verses that I did today are in Proverbs, obviously, because we are doing a study of Proverbs. So we're obviously going to pull a bunch of verses from Proverbs. But throughout Proverbs, the Lord assures us that we can flourish. Chapter 11, verse 28. He assures us that we will be safe. 29, 25. He assures us we will have deliverance. Chapter 28, verse 26. And he assures us that we can be confident about our steps. Proverbs 3, verse 6. Now, we are guaranteed that. We are guaranteed we can flourish. We are guaranteed that he will keep us safe. He will deliver us on those hard days, those difficult days, those trying moments. And we can be confident about where we're going if we live the right step, the right life. Now, but what was the main point of this Devo? Trust. To get those 4 things, we have to trust God. Now, are we trusting our heart and only our heart? Are we following our heart? Are we trusting our heroes? The people we admire, the people we are just dying to be like? Are we trusting our riches? We got to have the best of the best. We got to look the best and, top the next person? Or are we trusting God? Are we trusting that what God put in the Bible, what God's words are true? That they're meant for me? That they will help me? Where are we putting our trust? And I know some of this sounds petty because as I do this devotional, I'm like, oh yeah, right, I don't follow my heart. Yeah, I do. I can probably name you, I know yesterday for sure, at least once a week, and if I was honest, probably once a day, there's some decision that has to be made. There's something, or whatever I wake up my mind's on, I'm going to follow my heart instead of follow God. Got to work on that. Do I want to be like somebody else? There was a time I did. There was a time I really wanted to be like somebody else. I think we all go through that. Is that what we're doing? Do I put my trust in riches? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. How many times do you worry, where will I get this to pay off this? Or where will I get this to pay this? Or, the next paycheck can't come soon enough. You all know what I mean. Am I putting my trust somewhere it shouldn't be? Or when I have those bad days, when I have those decisions to make, when I am feeling bad about myself or want to be like somebody else, do I stop and say, oh, wait a minute. Am I following God? And I will venture to say 9 times, well, I know for me, 10 out of 10, I don't. We have to stop and put God first, because what are we always taught from little ones all the way up? We're teaching Austin, and he's 4. God comes first. So if I tell that to my children, I better be doing it. I better be putting God first in every aspect of my life. So that is what we talked about. That's what the devotional is about today, the trusting woman. I did not look at what next week's is, but it's some type of woman, I promise. So I hope everybody has a great week, and I will see you here next week, and thank you for listening.